Story 1. Mother tried to wear a white dress to sister's wedding, so we stood her up. My sister's original wedding plans for April were canceled due to COVID. Last weekend, she and her fiancé decided to have a small, COVID-safe wedding with 10 people, including themselves and the officiant. We observed social distancing and wore masks when possible. My mother has a history of making events about herself. For example, she was 15 minutes late to my high school graduation, missed both of my sister's graduations, refused to attend my college graduation because she didn't like my major, and hid my sister's car keys to prevent her from going. Turned up halfway through my wedding ceremony in sweatpants claiming we gave her the wrong time. We didn't, and tried to be the first to hold my children. She also made homophobic comments about my sister's relationship. Given this history, we anticipated problems at my sister's wedding. Since we don't know our father and COVID limited the bridal party, I served as a combination of father of the bride, brother of the bride, and maid of honor. One of my responsibilities was managing our mother. The night before the wedding, my wife and children stayed at my mother's house while I stayed with my sister. The plan was for my wife to drive our children and my mother to the venue, as my mother doesn't drive. The morning of the wedding, my wife sent me a photo of what my mother intended to wear, a white dress, very similar to my sister's wedding dress. My wife suggested an alternative, but my mother claimed it was her only nice outfit and locked the bedroom door to prevent my wife from finding her something else. Upon hearing this, I instructed my wife to tell my mother that the plans had changed and that we would pick her up in the nicer car I was using to transport my sister, allowing her to make a grand entrance with us. My mother agreed and saw no issue with my wife and children leaving ahead of time. However, as the title suggests, my sister and I never picked her up. I explained the situation to my sister on the way to the ceremony. She wasn't surprised by our mother's behavior and suggested we call her before the ceremony. If she showed remorse, I would pick her up. My mother never answered the phone and didn't call us, so we proceeded with the wedding without her. My mother is, unsurprisingly, furious. However, we all had a wonderful time. While I know some might view our actions as cruel, I hope others find this story useful or enjoyable. Don't let anyone ruin your wedding. Comment 1. I did see your AATA post earlier, and I enjoy the additional information regarding her past behavior. Even though you were very clear in your previous post that your mother had several opportunities to change and do the right thing, it's still nice to see the pattern of behavior. Also, I feel your pain, but congrats to your sister. Your mom sounds like my dad. Comment 2. I commented on the other post. You did the right thing. You should get counseling so you can figure out why you allow her to remain in your life. Comment 3. Can you be my brother? This is golden and your spine is chrome-plated. Comment 4. My mother wants to wear a white dress to my wedding on October 10th. Can I hire you to be her driver? I'm dead serious. Story 2. Future mother-in-law doesn't want her son to marry defective merchandise. I'm sorry, I can't quite remember the exact name for my condition, but basically, I have all the right parts, but none of them work as they should. My uterus can't generate lining, so I'm unable to get pregnant. The upside is that I've never had a period in my life. I'm 32. Somehow, my boyfriend's mom found out about my condition. I'm not sure how, maybe she overheard someone in the family talking, or perhaps she's just been asking around. My family knows, and I've told a few of his relatives. When she found out, she confronted me and then forbid her son from marrying me because I couldn't give him children. Needless to say, my boyfriend and I have discussed it, and though he was a little disappointed, we're both fine with it. We're at peace with the situation, me being unable to conceive. Now, however, she's telling everyone in the family not to attend our wedding, claiming she doesn't want her son marrying someone defective who can't give him what she believes he wants or needs. If she ever changes her mind, that would be great, but right now, I honestly don't want her at the wedding. I'm afraid she might say or do something to ruin the day. My boyfriend loves his mom, but he's torn about whether to invite her. We're considering just having a small civil ceremony with a few close friends and relatives and telling her about it later, but at this point, she won't even come over when we invite her for dinner. It's really starting to wear on me. her calling me defective to everyone else. His dad is okay with it, and his aunts and uncles are mostly understanding. We've even talked about adoption in the future, but she's against that too, because apparently it's not his blood and wouldn't be a real grandchild to her. Just needed to vent. Thanks for listening. Comment 1. While not diagnosed, I believe I may have the same condition. My DH was aware when we got married. His family was not. They became aware of it about a year later when the baby's rabies had settled in on my JustNoMil. She was less than pleased. The woman has made my life hell for the last 16 years over it. My DH doesn't even want children because he knows she would never respect any boundaries we attempted to create. I'm still working on shinning up his spine when it comes to her. He's still dancing around the edge of his FOG. The Christmas morning my SIL announced her pregnancy, my MIL and GMIL looked at me and asked when I was going to do my job and give them a baby. I just stood up and walked out. That's the day I went LC. Now I'm VVLC. I really only see them on major holidays or at funerals. All this to say, I know how you feel and I'm sorry that you're having to deal with this. JustNoMil is a twat for thinking this is an appropriate subject for her to have an opinion on. Comment 2. Don't have anyone at your wedding who doesn't support your marriage. Everyone there should love, or at the very least genuinely like both of you, and be excited to see you marry. This is your goddamn wedding, not their soapbox. If they will not treat it with the appropriate solemnity, they can read about it on Facebook after the fact. Comment 3. Why is he okay with someone who calls the woman he says he loves defective coming to the wedding? Story 3. FML 1. I'm no longer in her son's life. If you read my last post, you already know that I can't have children. My soon-to-be mother-in-law didn't take that well and has been actively trying to sabotage our wedding, telling people not to attend and calling me defective. My fiancé and his father plan to have a sit-down with her on Tuesday night to try and talk some sense into her. Well, it seems she won. I don't know what exactly happened or what was said, but when my fiancé came home, everything exploded. Despite everything we had previously discussed, he now says he wants kids, and if I can't give them to him, then the wedding is off. I basically said, that sounds like something your mother would say, not you. He snapped back with, I can speak for myself, and it all went downhill from there. We ended up yelling at each other, and in the heat of the moment, I packed a bag and went to my parents' house for the night. The next day, I called in sick to work and spent the entire day lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. We've known each other for 23 years, since we were both 9 years old. We started as friends, then got romantically involved through high school, went to college together, and after graduation, we moved in together. Neither of us had ever been with anyone else. We always said that the wedding wasn't important as long as we were together, but that changed when my dad got a terminal illness. He expressed his wish to walk me down the aisle, I'm his only daughter, before he became too ill to do so. Now, I'm planning to give my 2-month notice at work on Monday to allow time for a replacement and training. After that, I'm moving back to Germany. I didn't mention before that my dad is German and my mom is American. They met when she went to Germany for work, and I was born there. I've still got family and friends over there, and a good friend of mine, who had previously offered to be a surrogate, has invited me to stay in her spare room with her family until I get settled. I'm sorry, but there's no happy ending here. My mother-in-law got what she wanted. She got me out of her son's life. Technically, she even got me out of the country. I know I could move to another town or state, but I don't want to be alone here. This place is full of memories, and I have a solid support system overseas, so that's where I'm headed. I've been picked on for a lot of things over the years, from my height to my accent when I first moved here. It's gone now. I sound like any other Midwestern girl, but this one really hurts. I was able to brush off the other things by telling myself, that's who I am, and if they don't like it, it's their problem. I'm sure in a few years, I'll look back at this situation the same way, but right now, it's just too fresh. Thanks for reading and for your kind words of support. Sorry if this is a bit all over the place. I'm just ranting and crying, so it's hard to keep my thoughts together. Comment 1. I'm so sorry. The only bright spot I can see is that he showed his just know before the wedding. Comment 2. I call it right now. He will soon be licking his wounds and begging for another chance. Dude has never dated anyone else. Women move on easier than men in my experience of dating mama boys and men who lack experience. Those men can't handle managing new relationships. But don't you dare let someone throw you away because you can't be an incubator and let it get down on yourself. You actually have a fresh slate to focus on yourself, and it's going to be a wild ride. Good luck on your new start in life. Comment 3. She didn't win, you did. Now you can move on and find someone who will put you first. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.